What if hip-hop's darkest secret has been hiding in plain sight, right beside Sean Diddy Combs on every red carpet? Former security chief Gene Deal just flipped the spotlight onto Janice Combs, hinting that the matriarch may be the true architect of the excess, now dragging her son into a federal firestorm. Stick around because each twist in this family saga sinks deeper than the last, and the next revelation might make you rethink every glossy photo you've ever seen of Mama Combs. The scandal ignites. Gene Deal isn't some keyboard gossip hound. He ran Bad Boy's body line for over a decade and saw the whole empire rise. Tour smoke, closed-door meetings, and everything in between.
I was Puff's personal bodyguard. I didn't call to get no security for nobody. When I went to work, I had my own contractor.
And now that Diddy's facing real heat in court, Gene's back with something heavier than industry rumors.
He's gonna break the internet. He gonna break YouTube.
According to him, Janice Combs wasn't just clapping in the front row. She was in the room when the doors closed, when the rules bent, and when things got dark. Sounds wild, right? But the deeper you dig, the more it looks like Gene might not be reaching. Because every time a sealed witness log cracks open, it ends up echoing the exact same stories he's been saying for years. Oedipus echoes. Deal paints a picture that still leaves people stunned. A scene straight out of a Twisted Family photo album. He says after one of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, the man wasn't just recovering in silence. He was poolside, hooked up to an IV drip, right next to his mother.
She's hydrated. What's up, Ma?
Everything's good, baby.
Yeah, you heard that right. Now, here's where things start to really reek. According to Gene, Janice wasn't some clueless mom knitting upstairs. She was right there, not just in the building, but allegedly poolside, cooling off with her son, both of them on IV drips like they just ran a marathon through hell.
Was it her, Diddy, and 4, 5, 6 other guys, or just her, Diddy, another guy? Yo, that's just crazy to me, bro. See, and they tell off on their story. They sell. He had said that his parties are so wild that he has to have an ambulance outside of his house. He said that his parties are so wild, bro, that he gotta have an ambulance outside his house. And they have to do a drip afterwards. He is sitting outside around Poolside doing an IV drip with his mama. I don't know, maybe that's some rich.
The agency question. And while we're here, let's talk about that modeling agency she used to run, Janice Combs Management. Now, folks online been saying for years it wasn't about runway gigs, it was about booking the right kind of girls for the right kind of clients. VIP companionship, hush-hush arrangements, you know the drill. Nobody's filed charges, sure, but the whispers are loud enough to break glass.
His mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also Ladies of the Night, a prostitution ring too.
The kicker? That client list Janice kept back in the day just so happens to overlap real suspiciously with the name showing up at Diddy's freak-offs. Unconfirmed, absolutely. But let's be real, feds don't need a confession when the patterns tell the story. One gun, two stories. Now here's a moment that hasn't gotten nearly enough attention. At one of those infamous nights, things allegedly got tense enough for a gun to come out. Gene says one version floating around claims D-Rock handed it to Diddy after a whispered threat, but the version D-Rock supposedly told him years ago, he wasn't even there. Said it was Cassie who brought the weapon.
Now, what I do know this, me and D-Rock had a conversation about why he's so close to Puff now. You understand? And he told me Cassie in there with the burners. And Cassie gave D-Rock the gun in the diner.
Two people, two timelines, and one story that doesn't add up.
Those are two different stories that I know of. You know, one from D-Rock and the one we heard from Cassie. It may be the same story, and Cassie just flipped it some kind of way.
And somewhere off page, Janice stays silent, like she always did when the stories didn't match. Shielding the empire. Gene says Janice wasn't just sitting in the background baking cookies. She knew how to pull strings when she wanted to. He remembers getting a call from her one day, all soft voice and sugar slick charm, asking for a little favor that had nothing to do with safety. Next thing he knew, Diddy was heated, telling him not to talk to his mother like that. That wasn't just a mama, that was management. And according to Gene, the whole security team caught on quick. You want to keep your check, you keep your mouth shut. Full loyalty, no questions, and definitely no snitching. Then there's the whisper Kirk Burrows dropped years ago. The one about Diddy allegedly slapping his own mama during a blow-up. Yeah, you heard that right. Even in that house, the line between control and chaos was a moving target.
Burroughs once told me he slapped his mother. And I told everybody, had I known he slapped his mother.
And while nobody's putting Janice on trial yet, Jean says a whole fleet of houses, cars, and even a Hamptons hideaway are sitting under her name. Not Puff's, hers. At some point, you stop calling it love and start calling it a vault. Courtroom, catwalk, and public defense. Every morning like clockwork, Janice pulls up to that courthouse dressed like it's the BET Awards, not a federal trial. One day it's a platinum pixie cut, next it's a slick blonde bob, always paired with those blinding, diamond-studded shades, like she's shielding herself from more than just the sun. Then came the day. The testimony got so graphic, even Diddy's teenage daughters dipped out the room. Hours later, Janice broke her silence with a carefully crafted statement, brushing it all off as a narrative created out of lies, though she did admit her son had made mistakes. And just like that, the internet had its moment. They started calling her Sunglasses Grandma. TikTok had a field day stitching her courtroom struts into fashion edits, and the hashtags, let's just say they came faster than her wig changes. Power plays behind closed doors. Jean says one of the girls on staff got caught up after some jewelry went missing. Next thing you knew, she was being taken to an empty warehouse and put on a polygraph. Not once, but every day. Same room, same setup, same pressure. He says it wasn't about solving anything. It was about sending a message. You talk, you crack, you slip up, and this is what waits for you. Because in that circle, silence wasn't just expected, it was enforced.
Polygraph, giving her a polygraph every day. I think they gave her a polygraph I think it's 5 times they said.
What happens next? Word on the street is prosecutors might be eyeing Janice for more than just moral support. Legal analysts say she could be called to testify before jury deliberations kick off on June 30th, 2025. And if that happens, those rhinestones she's been wearing to court might turn into armor under cross-examination. If she talks, it could blow this case wide open. If she stays silent, that silence might speak louder than anything she could say. Either way, sentencing's right around the corner, set for August, and the pressure's building by the hour. Meanwhile, the vultures are circling, streaming doc crews are already polishing pitches, hoping for the next Cosby moment, a glossy expose to drag this legacy through the mud with high-def receipts. Brands are stalling, Hollywood investors are quiet. Nobody wants to move until they know if Mama Combs is about to become the government's secret weapon. So here's the question that's keeping everyone up at night. If Janice really had a hand in all this, if she helped lay the foundation for the world her son's now being prosecuted for, how many other careers were built on the same blueprint? Is this the first crack in the industry's mask, or the entry point into something way darker? Let me know where you stand. Will Mama Combs flip, or is she riding this all the way down in silence? Drop your take in the comments, because trust, this ain't over. The next sealed file could crack everything wide open. In the Combs world, the lights might dim, but the secrets, they stay on playback.